Hello, everybody. Welcome in. All right, let me find myself. Welcome in, everybody. Good evening. It is Sunday, August 3rd, y'all. It's my birthday month. How's everybody doing? So, I'm in an event today. I know it's a Sunday. It's really weird to see me. I get it, but thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I am in Yadi's Workshop and Friends in her For the Love of Journaling event. I'm excited to be here. I'm honored as well. So thank you so much to Miss Yadi for having me. Hi there. Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for working with me today. I truly appreciate that. Thank you for that. You can't hear me, but the microphone is going. It says it's working. I wonder. What about now? Can you hear me now? It's okay now? Okay, I don't know what happened then. Because I literally just moved the other camera over. Okay, so I am gonna share myself out right quick and let everybody know that I am live, and hopefully we will have some friends join us. Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I definitely do not need to hear myself. Y'all don't want to hear me twice, so let's cut that volume off and let's go. Hopefully this will help with. There's my sweet Carla. Hey friend, how you doing? I'm okay. It's still kind of lingering right there and into this eye, but it happens, so it'll be all right. I will be okay. So as you guys can see, I have some pretty paper on my table here. So For the Love of Journaling, and it was really nice to see both Miss Yadi and Miss Lisa. They were using techniques and the kits that they've learned, that they get from Miss Risa's group. I'm in that group as well. So if you guys want to join it, it is a great place for resources. But as Miss Lisa said, you know, you can incorporate other things. You can incorporate, you know, other printables that you may have. You may incorporate papers that you already have in your stash. You know, you learn to just add on to that. Hey there, Miss Wendy. How are you? Hello there, Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda was on today as well. I only caught a snippet of yours before I lay down again, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so I'm actually working, for those of you who may have caught me during a Dusty Granny's event. She hosted an event, and so while I was in San Antonio, me and my very smart brain forgot my box of stuff that I had to take with me for the live. So I went and I picked up stuff from some lace that I had picked up at the Goodwill, to some wallpaper, and a manila folder that I got at the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I had some other pages, but I kind of want to go to a different route. Alright, so I'm actually going to be cutting these 12 by 12s that I have down to size to fit into what I have already started as a cover. Okay, and I will be sewing it in, so I'll show you guys how to do that. Hey there, Miss Carrie. Hello there, Miss Sarah. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much, Miss Carrie. Our beautiful little chick is in the house. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you guys want to join the group, I am new to Risa's book club, but I have enjoyed it so far. I drove my son to North Carolina on, what was it, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. So Tuesday night, while I was driving, because we got there Wednesday morning. I was listening to Risa doing the book on my drive up there. That's actually what helped me stay awake. Of course, on the way back, it was daytime, and my daughter was like, "Mom, I think I've heard this lady's voice enough. Can we please listen to music?" I was like, "That's fine." But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I loved her knowledge that she brings, and that's the thing about it. But when it comes to junk journaling, guys, you do take the knowledge that you learn from people like Miss Risa or from Miss Yadi or from anybody that you watch doing any type of journaling, whether it's here or on YouTube, and then add your own spin. That's the beauty of it, right? It's the beauty of any craft, right? We've seen it before. Everybody has the same printable and everybody does something completely different with it. Why? Because we're all unique. So this is one of the large manila folders. It is amazing. Okay, so this is one of the large manila folders that you can buy a 5-pack at the Dollar Tree. Okay, and all I did was I cut off the flap. So this is actually a pocket right now. Okay, so this is an actual pocket. Okay, Miss Cynthia, hey there, dear, how are you? It is so beautiful to see you. You are in my prayers, dear. So this is what I'm using, and all I did was cover it with this really pretty wallpaper. You know the tacky wallpaper sheet you can get at the Dollar Tree? Well, I found this really pretty one, and I thought it went beautiful with the lace that I had. So this is my cover. This is going to be my cover. Now, I am going to end up covering the inside, and I have these papers here. So we're going to look through these papers and figure out which one I'm going to have. You're charging your phone before you head out for your walk. There you go. Y'all, if you guys are not, Miss Cynthia has been doing her walks, and she makes me feel horrible because I'm like, I don't walk at all, let alone as much as you do. But it's inspiring because I know I need to. It would do me definitely some good. So these are some beautiful papers that I have. They are double-sided papers. So I'm going to use these for my pages on the inside. Okay. Yes, we all need prayers, my friend. So as long as we keep each other in our prayers, we'll be good. So I looked for pages that had butterflies on them, since we have this paper here. The wallpaper was butterflies, but I also wanted to find papers that kind of had the same color tone. Definitely. And so here I have lots of purples and greens. So these pages are all purples. These ones are single-sided, okay? So these ones are single-sided papers, and you can definitely still use single-sided papers, all right? Oh, I come walk with you, just not walking. Like I watch you walk, but I don't go walking with you. So, yeah. Yes. Yes. So, I am going to grab one of these that are the single-sided ones, and I'm going to use it in the cover, for the cover portion. And I really like this purple hydrangea one, and so I think I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to cut it down to size, and then that will be the inside of our cover. Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll call you. Hello, Miss Connie. How are you, my sweet mama? Look. I'm working on that journal that I was doing when I was in San Antonio. Y'all, my son is so happy, and I couldn't be happier, because as a mama, that's what we want. We want them to be happy. Am I praying? Yes, you better believe this mama is on her knees and praying for that child, because, he wants to be out in the battlefield, which, Thank God right now we really don't have much of one, but still, that just scares the jeebies out of me, right? Yes, you need to. You need to. I will tell you that, you know, even my kids and my hubby will be like, when was the last time that you actually went into your craft room and crafted? Not organized, not cleaned, not went in for selling. Like, you just went in to craft and have fun. And when I tell them, like, oh, well, it's been a while, they're like, you need to. You need to go. You need to do it just because you enjoy it, not because you're on a live or anything like that. You have to do it just because you want to do it, because they know how much that does for me. There's gonna be lots of purples and some green slash teals along with the what you call it, with butterflies. Lots of butterflies. Lots of butterflies. So, I did pretty good with my cutting. And I'm obviously not going to throw that piece away because I'm going to use it. And I actually need to cut a sliver off so that we can see the pocket portion here. So I need to cut just a little sleeve off. And I will tell you, Miss Cynthia, I miss seeing you crafting. Because you inspire me. Y'all, Miss Cynthia, for those who may not know her, she sells printables for junk journals. Oh my gosh, y'all need to check her out. She does have subscriptions over in Ko-fi where you can get her printables on a subscription basis, and depending on the tier, there's like different you know, like benefits and stuff, like extra goodies you get, but they are gorgeous. She is an amazing creator as well, so definitely check her out. If you've ever caught any of the Memoredex events, she is the creator brains behind all of that, so definitely want to check her out. Yeah. It is beautiful paper. It is. I agree. I spy a little familiar fox stamp. Yeah, I know. It's right there. It's right there. I'm going to keep it close. Just like it's filled with my cat's hairs right now because they like to go everywhere. And obviously it was a sticky note. But I have this actually also here on my desk. I keep those little notes you sent me. They are very, very dear to my heart. So, alright, this is just stick glue, guys. You could use whatever glue, you know, you prefer. I did come home and I did add some Fabri-Tac to secure the lace a little bit better because the school glue needed a little bit of help, okay? It needed a little bit of help in that sense, but other than that, it actually did very well. The school glue did, and the regular just stick glue. So definitely keep that in mind, that you can use those things. Of course, you can go and get the fancy smancy you know, art glitter glue and stuff, and I like it. I'm not gonna say I don't, but I'm just saying you don't need to have a ton of expensive stuff to journal, okay? Because remember, you know, we are journaling, but the whole idea behind junk journaling came from using what you already had, and the different things, you know, that novel was from it was from a long time ago, but I keep it. It is very near and dear to my heart. I told you, it's right here on my desk in front of me. I see it every day. Anytime I sit down here. Anytime I sit down, I'm reminded of my beautiful Cajun queen. Alright, so I'm going to start with 1/2 first to make sure that I get my paper down right. And I do have my, what you call it, my little iron on, just in case I need that as well. Y'all, this might sound weird, but that glue actually smells good. I was like, ooh, that actually smells good. Alright, so just varnishing it a little bit, right? Remember, always try to varnish whenever possible. Just because it makes sure that everything is tight and that you don't have, like, you know, bubbles or anything like that. And remember, I did cut it short because I want to be able to see the pocket there. And I'm gonna end up putting a little bit of like lace or some trim there, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, I'm gonna come back for the other part. And now I'm using the Scotch Create glue stick. So, but yeah, look for, you know, look in your stash. We all have 12 by 12 papers. We all keep, you know, all kinds of little things like that. You know, if you have punches, use those punches. Make your own ephemera. If you have a Cricut, you can use it to cut out tags and shapes and pockets and all kinds of things, you know. If you have, you know, envelopes that we all get. In my case, I get a whole bunch of them from my doctor's offices telling me, you know, to send in payment from where I owe the money. And so those envelopes that you get, you know, with the, you know, to reply on, that have the little see-through windows, keep those because you can make pockets with them. I've actually shown how you can use them for that. It's a lot of fun to use those because they're creative like that. I mean, you use what you have. You know, you don't always have to go out and buy the new best thing or the something else somebody might have used. I mean, we all like to go shopping. At least I think the bulk of us do. I think it's just, you know, a crafty thing, ADHD thing, a lady thing, I don't know. We just like to have all the beautiful things. And that is totally fine. Okay? Now, if you like to journal and want to be in Miss Yadi's event, please message her so that she can add y'all. And the next time we have an event happening, you can sign up for it and join all of us creators here in Yadi's Workshop and Friends doing some pretty journaling. Alright? Okay. So I think it's down pretty well. I don't really think I need to iron on it, but we'll do it just for giggles. Okay? Make sure I don't have any glue right there. Grab me my parchment paper. I don't know what I did with my Teflon sheet. It's somewhere in this room. Somewhere. Don't know where, but it's somewhere. And I'll find it someday. So I'm just going to use this. These are the little pre-cut parchment papers that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I keep a box in my desk, so that's what I'm using. Yeah, I'll call you. I'll call you once I get off so that hopefully it's not too late for you, dear. Okay? Because I'll be off. I get off at 10. So, yeah. But I'll give you a call for sure. For sure, for sure. I was on the phone earlier with Miss Carla. Got to speak with her. Miss her voice. Miss having her clothes. Oh my gosh. Those 2 days were not enough. She's gonna end up having to send a whole meat market over so that I can, you know, full of sausages, just so that I can go spend a week with her to appease Gare. Alright, so that's it. And I'm going to make sure that I can fold this again. I know, we had an amazing time. That's why I said it wasn't enough. I have to plan to come down for longer. That's why I said you'll have to make sure I come home with a cooler full of sausage so Gary does, you know, it's like, okay, fine, you send me sausage, I'll let her stay there. My husband loves, he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and he really loved the sausage that Miss Carla sent with me last year when I met up with her, so I had to make sure to bring him a whole bunch more back this year. Aww. She is a sweetheart, isn't she? And you haven't even been blessed to meet her in person. Wait till one day you are blessed to meet her in person. I mean, it is amazing. Yeah. That's why. Yep. Well, I'm happy because I already know the next year I get to see you again. So that helps. Because I'll get to see you again. Of course, Lord willing, you know, we always have to say that. But, you know. Alright, I am going to trim down my papers to fit in here. Now that we have that done. And I'm actually going to measure the piece that I cut off, because that is going to help me. I know. Well, I am very blessed, and I have convinced her. She's going to be at the retreat I'm hosting next year in Oklahoma, so anybody who's able to make it out to that will get to meet her. And meet me if you haven't met me in person already. Okay, so about 3 inches is what we took off. So we're going to take off about 3 inches on each one of these pages. And the way you do that, if you don't know, is you are going to measure your paper. Okay. I want it. Yeah, I wanted this. No, I need it this way. Yeah, you know, we are. July, what is the last weekend of July going into August? Because I already have the dates. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But I know it goes July, I think it's like July 30th. Okay, so to do the full length, we did 3 inches. So because it's the book pages, I want them a little bit smaller. So I'm actually taking off a 3 1/8. So we're looking at, it would be the 30th through the 2nd, the 30th of July through the 2nd of August. Yay! I would love if you could come. I'll actually be putting info out, a flyer with info soon, so that way people have time and you guys can, you know, make payments if you need to, make arrangements for vacation time, because I know everybody's got to, you know, you have work and stuff like that. So, okay, this one has this extra piece up here. Luckily, it's perforated, so I can take it off. If not, you would have to cut that off, okay? Actually, I'm going to cut it off because if not, it's going to look weird. And we're going to do a mixed media book from start to finish. So I'm excited to be able to bring the little bit of knowledge I have, but also just to be able to have fun with my friends. We'll get to eat, sleep, and craft together. I know. I know. You know, it's kind of funny because with everything that's going on, my brother, who's over in Switzerland, has actually been considering moving back. He says he doesn't like the atmosphere over there right now. And he's not sure that he wants that for his daughter. Which I can't blame him. I mean, I can totally understand that. You know? He feels that it would be better to be here, so my daughter was we were driving home from San Antonio actually driving to Louisiana when he called, and so she was actually convincing him that he needs to move to Georgia so he could be close and not to Texas. And I'm like, Caroline, it's not that bad of a drive. I mean, if your uncle comes to Texas, he comes to Texas, so we just gotta travel to Texas. And then, you know, and he travels over here to see us, so. I know, that would be that would be like the perfect life if all we had to ever do was eat, sleep, and craft, you know, and hang out with our friends. That would be like, what do we say, life goals? I don't know about that, but you know, yeah, something like that. He's not liking, not so much that they're not doing well. What he's not liking is, the hatred, the hatred, the hate that he's starting to feel, and so I can understand where he's coming from, you know. I mean, we can talk junk about our country and all, but at the end of the day, you know, we love our country, right? And that goes for any country, because I'll tell you, there's times, you know, and I'll say it up front, you know, like, Costa Rica can be a disaster. It doesn't mean that I don't like my country. No, I love it. You know, same with the U.S. And for him, especially with him being a vet, you know, he served in the U.S. Army until he was medically discharged. So for him to hear a lot of the hate rant and stuff, his heart is not happy. And you know, I think that is the bigger of the issue more than anything else, because not that any of like his friends would say anything, but the people around him, and I think that's where the issues would come. It's like, you know, he very proudly, he owns a bike shop, motorcycle shop in Switzerland. And he proudly displays his U.S. flag, his Georgia state flag, and the Swiss flag. And all the, his customers and people that have been around him for years, they know that he's a U.S. Military vet and that he is from the U.S. And so I don't think they would personally maybe say anything around him. But, when you go to the grocery store and you're overhearing people talk, and it just feels, feels hostile to your own heart. So. Well, something's gonna happen, that's for sure. It's gonna be something. I don't know what boom it will be, but it'll definitely be something, that's for sure. Okay, so here's all of my paper cut down, which, if y'all can tell, some are not exactly, and I used my cutting thing, and some of them are still taller than others. Like, what the junk. Okay. See, and then you wonder why I don't measure stuff, because it don't matter if I measure it, it still don't come out right. Alright, I'm just gonna start, what did I do with my bone folder? I wanted the other one. Yeah, it is. There's a lot of hatred that's going around, and the biggest thing is, I try to remind my brother, I'm like, remember, you can't hate, because hate's only going to continue to fuel things. So, and I know that's hard for many to understand, but okay, so I'm just folding these down the middle, since they are they're 12 inches, they're still 12 inches long. It's just the width of them. So I am coming in at 6, okay, which would be half, to fold it, okay, so that way we have that. Yeah. I know our human heart is hard to keep in check at times compared to our spiritual heart, and so it is definitely hard, and that's because it is easier to hate than it is to have compassion or love for others, and that's the thing about it, is learning to have that love and compassion. But we can. That's a weird double side. Oh, that is, one side is like completely plain and the other side, yeah. So one side is a plain color and this side is, these are the pattern and solids from Graphic 45 that would go with this one, which is their actual paper pad. This one is called Flutter, by the way, if anybody was wondering. But this page here was the only one that actually I felt went with what I wanted to do. The others, I didn't like I felt like the colors were too bright, or they were red, like a bright red or something, and it didn't really match what I was trying to do. So, because I wanted greens, blues, teals, and purples more than anything. Okay, so here we come into these ones. Let's see which ones did I cut too much of. It is very pretty. It is a very pretty paper. And then this is just scrapbook paper. That as I was flipping through, I was like, oh, this has purples in it, so these will work, right? These will work for adding some purple into my journal. Right? Because I wanted to make sure we had some purples in there. Because I know Miss Connie loves her. I think lots of us love our purple. Okay, so I'm just trimming these as a whole, hoping that I'm not making a disaster out of them. Because usually when I cut one too many papers, they end up all wonky. So I'm just trying to get them cut so that I can store them. Yeah. You love you some purples. I do too. I love me some purples too. So this one, the pages are blank on the back side because this is just a scrapbook paper, okay? So you have two options. You can either glue two sides together, or you can just decorate those other sides of the paper. So that is going to be totally up to you when you're making your you know, when you pick out your papers. Yeah, the double-sided is very pretty, but there's sometimes that some of these scrapbook papers are also very pretty and you want to add them and you're like, well, but it's not double-sided. Look, you can stamp the back of it. You can add a pocket, a large pocket on it. You can, let me not do that because if not I'll make a mess. You can like I said, you can glue side by side, you know, top to bottom. So I could come in here and I could glue these, you know, one on top of the other, and then I would have that. And you can, we might do that. We'll see. We'll see. I just like how there's flowers, but there's purple backgrounds. So even though like this is a daisy, right? It's a purple background. So we have purples there, but we still have some florals, which are nice. How did I get that wonky? See what I mean? Even when I cut it with a cutter, I still get all wonky. And again, we are just coming down at the 6-inch mark, since this is 12-inch paper. You know, that's the nice thing about using the manila folders, is that you have very little that you have to cut off of a 12 by 12. So I know my mom was telling me that they might be moving to Italy because they could live more comfortably over there. And I'm like, well, maybe if you stop traveling every which ways. But, you know, I mean, they are retired. They can do whatever they want. Her and her husband. But that was just a thought. Maybe if you didn't travel every which ways and stayed put, your retirement money would last more. But who am I? Who am I? I'm just the daughter. Okay. So, let's look at these ones that we said only had the one side, right? Okay. That one's fine. Why are these two so off? Look, even the best of person can make all the mistakes in the world. Okay? And honestly, that is why I like junk journaling, because you can take goofs and oopsies and turn them into something pretty. And even when you're crafting, like I was telling my daughter when we were over there crafting with and painting with Miss Carla, it's like, it's just paint. If it's not the way you want it, you can paint over it. Or in her case, she can ask mommy to help her. But like I said, it's just paint. You don't like it, you can fix it. You didn't. Nope, no. You didn't cut them. I know. It was me. Me, myself, and I. Okay. So I'm actually going to take these two right here. Okay. So I folded one inward, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adhere them together. Okay. So that we have a solid page. But this is where the kicker comes in. I'm actually going to leave it open so that I have a pocket. Okay? But I'm not going to do it on both sides. I'm just going to do it on one side. Okay? So I'm going to make myself a pocket. Alright? So we're going to start by gluing this set of papers together. And we're going to do this side first. And then the other side will just glue a section of it so that we can leave it open like a pocket. So now I've taken a problem of having a white side and actually turned it to my advantage to make a pocket. And you can do this with any kind of paper you want, okay? In any kind of journal you want. Alright. So do my best to line them up. That is also a nice thing about working with the stick glue, is that you can maneuver your paper a little bit, whereas with the wet glue you can't. Okay? Yep, making pockets with it, exactly. And this one's going to turn into a large pocket that I can put something in. So you could leave it up open to like put in maybe a tag, a journaling portion or something. You could leave it open on this side. Okay? So there's lots of ideas for that. Hey there, Reckless! How are you? I didn't see you pop in, my friend. Again, I'm just going to quickly move my iron over this just to make sure that everything is the way it needs to be. Da-da-da. Just just for my sense of, okay, yeah, it's actually really stuck. Not that it really needs it, but for my sense, okay? All right, so now the question is, what type of pocket do we want to make with the other half of this, right? Okay, so let's line these up. Okay, and again, we can come in here and you can do a C, close it, and then you'd have this section open. You could do a U and have that section open, or you can come in here and you can actually make a fold and make a pocket that ends up being like that. You can cut it, you can fold it, you can do however you feel happy with it. In my case, I'm just going to fold it. Okay? And so I'm just lining up here with where, you know, I've done my edge. And so that way I have this section here. Okay, and so then that would come over here, and when I go to glue it, I'm going to have this part open. Does that make sense now? Alright, so I am going to give myself, obviously, some glue on the corner here. Miss Carla was so sweet. She's like, you use glue sticks. Here you go. They're so much easier to use than the liquid glue in so many occasions. I do prefer them. Okay. And then here we have to make sure that all we're going to glue is that part. Okay. And for that, I will use my liquid glue only because I want to have a thinner edge, okay, of glue. I want a thinner edge of glue, so that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and you'll see me, I'll go over my pages a gazillion times. That's just how I am. I do like the fine tip, don't get me wrong. It's just a pain when it does get clogged. And I am going to put a dab going upward to secure it to the other page. Because remember, if not, it's, you know, it's going to be halfway flapping. And I don't want that either. Okay. So now I'm going to come down. Make sure I'm pulling this tightly over. Oh, thank you. Thank you for working with me and for being patient with me and my... I think I'm going to have to go back to a neurologist because these migraines are starting to kick my butt again. They're starting to become a little too active and I don't like it. So it's probably time I go back to a neurologist and see what we're gonna do. But see, now I have a nice large pocket, obviously, once I let the glue dry. I gotta let the glue dry. And then I'm just gonna snip off this little excess here that obviously, again, I didn't cut right. And I will hide all of the white when I go to inking these pages. So I will be inking my pages because you guys know I like it that way. I like them inked. I like it dirty, grungy. To me, it just feels like it looks complete If not, it doesn't look complete. So we're going to come in. We have this beautiful page here. We're going to give ourselves this page right here. We're going to come here. We'll add in this one right here. See how pretty that is? And then we'll add the blue one in. Pretty, pretty. Okay. We do have two more, which I'm going to also adhere together. Okay. So these ones will actually, I think I'll do it this way. Put these two together. So they will be in here. Followed by the green one. And then lastly, we will have this one in here. And I will sew this together, and this is what's going to turn out to be my journal. My beautiful little butterfly journal. I think it's going to look really pretty once it's finished. So, at least I think so. I hope so. How about that? I'm hoping it will. So I'm going to add these, I'm going to go ahead and work on gluing these two together while we still have 8 more minutes together. We're going to work on this. But I want you guys to see what it would look like once it is finished. Once I have it sewn together, I won't have all of the, you know, all the components in it, because we like to add all of the stuff, right? Like the tags and the little cards and all these things. I won't have all of that part done, but I will at least have it sewn together, and I will post a picture of that part so y'all can see that, okay? Yeah. Are you dried out? No, you're just being difficult. So, but thank you, Miss Yadi, for having me. I really, really do appreciate it a lot. And again, if you guys are interested in learning how to make the books like Miss Yadi was doing, she had hers already bound and ready to just add the pages in. But if you want to learn those techniques from Miss Risa, it is part of their ministry with the Crafting Coop, so you can message them. And you get the lessons, you get the kits, and it is definitely a really good value. And you know, you're in a community with a bunch of the rest of us. You would like to see how I sew it? Sure. It won't take me that long. And if Miss Yadi's okay with it, I can definitely sew it together. And this is a simple sew, in the sense that because it is just the one signature, then I don't have to, you know, calculate spacing for a second one. I would have also had to have done a bit of a different spine. But because it's a single signature, it's actually a very easy sew. You just have to make sure that you have waxed thread. The wax thread is important because that way it ensures that your pages don't tear, because you know that's one of the biggest problems that we have if you use regular, because I've done it. I've tried to use just regular thread and it doesn't work. Now you can buy wax thread, or you can do your own. Oh, thank you, Miss Yadi. I do appreciate that. So then, yeah. So then let me finish this one up, and because I can always ink afterwards. That's not an issue. This one, we are going to do a top top loading. This I'm going to make a 2 different pockets on this one. Can you see it? I know that they were having an eclipse over a solar eclipse. Blood moon eclipse. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go see if I can see that. That's pretty cool. There's all the signs, huh? You took photos? Cool. Okay, so I put glue like this and like this. So I've actually created 2 pockets for myself. Yes. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy, huh? A lunar and a solar. Yay. That is rare. I know. I was seeing that. I was like, that's pretty cool. As I told my brother, I was like, oh, you need to make sure that Holly's looking at that, because that's pretty cool. Let me see if I see something. I'm gonna step out right 1 second. I'm by the back door, so. Hey, Caroline. Well, you can't see anything here. It's raining and cloudy and ugly outside. Hey, I don't know. I'm not the scientist. And I'm definitely not God, so I couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. But yeah. Yeah, no. Temperature finally dropped today, though, which was nice. It was nice not to be dying over here of heat. You know? So, okay. So we have this one, and this one's gonna go over here. Okay. Now, you know what? I'm going to turn this into a half page. And then we'll be able to do our sewing. Okay. Alright, so let's... What the world? Okay. So I'm going to put glue on the sides because I'm actually going to turn this one into a pocket, okay? And that solves my problem of having a page that is white. I made it into pockets that I can use. And I'm not worried about having to put any glue in the middle because I'm going to sew. And the sewing, you know, the stitching will help keep that together. But if you want to add glue, you can. Beautiful night here with the normal color of moon. Yeah, I think it's because she's up north. Or I wonder if it's because of all of the smoke. Somebody was saying something about there's a lot of smoke coming from Canada. I don't know what. I don't keep up with news and stuff like that as much, so I don't really know. Honestly, I watched more news being in San Antonio in that hotel, because that was one of the channels that came on. That and Shark Week. That's pretty much all we saw. Okay. Really? That's interesting. Okay. So, what do I do with my thing? Hello there, Miss Jody. Welcome, welcome, friend. Hello, hello. You only see your comments? Oh, I don't know. I see other people. Oh, come on. Why are you being difficult? You punched everything else out. That's interesting. Oh, interesting. Alright, so this is what we've got. I am going to grab my sewing items. Alright, so I have wax thread, which I did get at the Hobby Lobby, okay? But if you don't have wax thread, okay, if you go into the sewing section, okay, you can find this right here, which is wax, okay, and then you pass your thread through it a few times to get it nice and waxed up. This is literally what it is. This is to wax your thread, okay? So it's a little ball of wax. You can't wait to start your next semester. What's happening with your next semester? Hey there, Miss Teresa and Miss Anne. Welcome to everybody. Hey, hey, hey. And they worked out great. What worked out great, sweetie? What worked out, Miss Teresa? Because I didn't see that your comment. You're doing computers? Ooh, look at you, Miss Jody. Look at you. Okay, so I have this little gadget, which I bought back when I was starting. It's been a while now. I think you can still get it on Etsy. And essentially what it does is your book fits, or your signature fits in here. And then there's this little piece here, okay, that will guide you so you can make your holes. Yes, the wax wheel works great. It does. I agree. It does. So you don't always have to find the waxed stuff. You can just, make your own if you have stuff. You don't have to like buy wax thread. Okay? But if you need to, you can find it. Okay? So I like this color here. We're going to use this color. It's a really cool too. It's 3D printed, which is really interesting. Now, if you're sewing, okay, I normally go 1, 2, and 3 of the length. Okay. That might be too much, or it might be too little. We'll see, but it's usually enough. Oh, thank you, Miss Jody. I'm very proud of him too. I'm very proud of him. He is so excited for this next round. I don't think I've ever seen a kid be excited about doing more basic training, but he is. So I'm proud for him. I'm happy for him. He's excited about learning more. He's excited about just all of it. So I'm very, very happy. Okay. That's a habit which really with wax thread you don't really need. But, it happens. Okay. Alright, now when you're threading, okay, you know how normally when we're going to yours is more flat. Do you have something like this? Is the We Are Memory Keepers one. This is the We Are Memory Keepers one. And I have it. I'm not a huge fan of it. But yeah, you take it's a little flat here. You take it off. This one is better when you have multiple signatures that you're trying to do at one time. This other one is good if you're doing the one. Okay? So yeah, this is the We Are Memory Keepers, and it comes with the little pack with the owl and with some wax thread and two needles. That's the one you have, yeah. So that's the bookbinding kit that you can get from We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, so normally when we're about to sew something, we would put both of ends. You have that one too? Awesome. We put both ends together and we would make a knot, right? Not when you're doing a signature, okay? You're going to want to have a shorter end and then the longer end. So think of it as like 1/3 to 2/3, okay? That's the first thing. And that is because we're going to tie. All right? So that looks like several people have the We Are Memory Keepers one. That's awesome. So I did get that one, and mainly for when I do more than one, but it's not my go-to, that's for sure. Okay. I want to make sure that I have everything in the way I want it as far as my pages go. Like, are they lined up where I want them to be? Inside centered. Put this down. Put my guide down. Okay, and now I can make my holes. Okay. Alright, so I do want to tie this inward, so I have to make sure that this because this pocket is loose compared to the rest of the pages, right? So I need to make sure that I'm going to include it in the middle of my sews, if that makes any sense to y'all. So I'm just going to scoot it up, and I'm going to go 1, 2. So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, make my hole all the way through with the owl. See if you guys can see this better. Okay. I want to make sure that the next hole that I do, this pocket is inside of it. Alright. I needed one outside of the pocket. I'm going to need one that's inside of the pocket, then outside of the pocket. So I have to calculate that. So I have one hole here, and then I can do 4 and 4. 1, 2, 3, number 4. Go all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go all the way through. 1, 2, 3. But I'm actually going to come down so that I can make one up there. So I'm actually going to come down here. And then I'm going to do my final one that's closest to the top. Okay. So, whichever tool you use, okay, is fine. If you don't have the tool, you can make your markings and then just, you know, go in manually. Okay? And that's fine as well, as long as you're able to keep everything together. And this is where having some big clips come in handy. Okay, so I have that one. Got to scoot this one over just a little bit, make sure that it goes all the way through. So I'm making sure it goes all the way through. Alright. Make sure that this one goes all the way through, and that one went all the way through. Okay. So once you have your holes, you can start. Okay. You're going to want to start in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to come up this way. Actually, we're going to go the other way, in the other direction. So I'm going to go out this way. And now I'm going to catch right there. I'm going to catch it so that when I pull, what I'm going to start pulling is the long string now. Okay? And not that smaller string. Does that make sense? The reason why we need that is so that I have something to tie. Okay? I'm going to go up the next hole. See, this is where, if you have everything nicely lined up, it should go in seamlessly. And of course my lighting is the worst today. There we go. I'm going to bring this up. Ah! I pulled too hard. Darn. Okay. Go down again. Catch it. Come upward. And not lose it this time. Then I'm gonna come down. I'm still holding to this one because if not, it's gonna fly loose. Okay. I'm gonna come up through that hole. Okay, and what that does is it tightens it back here. Okay, if you guys can see that, but it tightens it right there. Okay, I'm going to go down through the first one. I'm still holding. I'm going to come in this way. Okay, I'm going to go down this way. Now usually if you do 3, you're not going to find yourself in the predicament that I am, because normally if you did 3 holes, you know, you'd be back up this way, or 4 holes. But because I did a total of 5, I'm actually going to have to go down and then come back up again, which I'm fine with, because all it's going to do is strengthen my core, and I'm good with that. Okay, now when I come up, okay, I'm going to use the needle. I'm actually going to go through, and this is where you start making your knot. Okay, this is where you're going to start making your knot, and you're going to tie your book off. Alright, and this is why you want to make sure you have extra string. Okay, maybe I could have left myself some more here, that'll be fine. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come now and I'm going to tighten this to the best of my abilities. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tighten, and we're going to make sure that we double knot this, because I don't want it coming apart. If you have enough string, you can make a cute, you know, like a little bow. I don't have enough on one side to do that, so I'm just going to tie this. Okay. See, there's Miss Cynthia's page, Guided Creation Printable Designs. If you guys are looking for more like paper patterns, junk journaling kits, definitely check her page out. She has some really cute ones. She made a steampunk autumn one last year for my group, which is super adorable. Y'all need to go check it out. Because, you know, autumn is right around the corner. I'm so grateful that the weather today decided to be a little bit on the cooler side, because it's been so stinking hot everywhere lately. And I'm trying to make a little thing here, but I don't know if it's gonna work, because I really don't have that much to tie. I might. I was able to make a little bow. Not the cutest, but it'll work. That's what matters, right? Right there. Ah, come on. So, see, that's why I said just, I wasn't able to do it right. It's all good. It'll stay like that, and I'm fine with that. Just trim these down a little bit. What's up, Titis? Alive? Yep. I'll be done shortly. And so that, my friends, is how you would sew your signature. You see that? You guys can see all that well. Let me see if I switch the camera, if maybe I can show you guys a little bit better. So this right here is the signature, see? And so it is all sewn through. Okay. And it literally will open up this way. And so you have a page here to decorate. We have a nice pocket here, page to decorate, page to decorate, another page to decorate. We have more. We have 2 pockets that we included. Another page to decorate. Double pocket that we created right here. Another page, another page, another page, and then the pocket that was included in the thing. You see that? So I think it came out very pretty. And like I said, it needs to be decorated, but it is finished, at least as far as the structure of it goes. So thank you so much to Miss Yadi for hosting this event, for having me here. I really do appreciate it. Please go check out her group. It is a free group. Her page is Yadi's Workshop and Friends. Her group is Yadi's Workshop and Friends. So go check that one out. If you're not part of the journaling event with her and you'd like to, message her, and I'm sure she would love to add you. Check out, if you want information on the bookmaking club, send me a message and I can get you a link to join. And if you want any additional printables that are awesome as well, that I've used multiple times on my lives or in my videos, please check out Guided Creation Printable Designs. She is in the comments currently. Have to teach me more about sewing in with more than 3 holes. Sure, I can do that. Yeah, because this one right here, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. Has 5 holes. The biggest thing is to make sure that you have enough cord. That's always going to be the kicker. But as long as you measure the length of your book 3 times, you'll be fine. Alright? And I mean, and if you want to go over if you want to double up the holes, then you need to make sure that you add extra length to that. But I will gladly show you how to do sewing with more than 3 holes. So thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you, Miss Carla. Thank you, Miss Yadi, Miss Carrie, Miss Jody, Miss Connie,